New year, same old Max Verstappen and Red Bull Racing. The 2024 Formula One season couldn't have gotten off to a better start for the defending champions, as Verstappen won in dominant fashion in Bahrain. His 55th career win and 8th race victory in a row confirmed the worst fears of fans and rivals, that this RB20 in the hands of Verstappen will be next to untouchable. The technical team at Red Bull have produced yet again revolutionary designs and ideas aimed to keep the team at the top. But next to famous names such as Adrian Newey and Pierre Vacher, credit also needs to go to an unexpected but greatly helpful sim racer who is assisting in dialing in maximum performance for the RB20. The simulator in Formula One has become a crucial tool for teams in the 21st century. They are as close as you can get to real-world track performance, so your drivers in the simulator play a big part throughout the race weekends and the season. Red Bull have had solid sim drivers in the past few years, such as former F1 driver Sebastian Buemi and Formula E champion Jake Dennis. But one of Red Bull's newest simulator drivers actually made a name for himself in this specific discipline. Rudy Van Buren is one of Red Bull's go-to simulator drivers, and he is the former winner of the world's fastest gamer competition. He's taken his talents into the real world of racing, and has competed in the Porsche Carrera and Super Cup series. He's worked with McLaren before as a sim driver, but now has been with Red Bull for a couple of years, and is earning quite the praise from the team and its star driver. Work from the sim teams has especially been important to car setup of the RB20 and its predecessors. Quote, "We have improved enormously with that in recent years. All things take from the wind tunnel to the car also work right away," said Verstappen. The simulator is also important in the guys who do their work there. Rudy and a few other simulator drivers test everything from the smallest adjustments to the craziest things. When I go to the simulator, everything is already fine, and it's really fine-tuning. Red Bull technical director Pierre Vacher also highlighted something interesting when talking about having a real sim racer on their roster, saying, quote, "It is true that not all real drivers enjoy driving into the simulator. It is also true that real sim racers enjoy it much more. The mindset helps. The simulator drivers don't want to be the fastest to be able to become our next driver on the track. Their contracts are very simple, in the sense that they just try to do the sim work as good as possible." Car setup has been one of Red Bull's strengths in the past few seasons. Many times they've struggled for the correct balance on a Friday, only to come back a day later and unlock more performance for the rest of the weekend. It helps greatly to have a world champion such as Verstappen, who not only is a dedicated sim racer himself, but is also humble enough to want to learn from his sim racing colleague. Quote, "I have a lot of contact with Rudy. He tells me what he tried in the simulator, and then we talk about it. We discuss what he has learned, or he says, maybe we should do this, or we should see if that aspect can still be improved." It's also important to point out Max Verstappen and Rudy Van Buren are teammates on Team Redline, which is Max's own sim racing team. Verstappen is quite the accomplished sim racer himself, and he is also a big supporter of sim racers and their potential of real-world performance. The main role of Van Buren in the sim team so far in 2024 has been correlating to see if everything they worked on in the virtual world also matches up in the real world. They are also already working for the future testing setups for upcoming races, and even the new upgrades that will eventually end up on the RB20. The sim drivers must have provided rave reviews of the RB20 when they first drove it, but to have that performance correlated in the real world must have been an even better feeling. After a solid preseason testing, the consensus in the pit lane was that Red Bull is still the team to beat, but that their rivals have gotten closer. The 2024 Bahrain Grand Prix was a rude awakening, however, as Verstappen picked up right from where he left off in 2023. 12 months ago he won the Bahrain Grand Prix by a margin of 11.9 seconds, and this Saturday he did it by almost double, 22.4 seconds, which also happened to be the largest winning margin in the history of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Red Bull's race pace advantage over their nearest rivals Ferrari was about 4.5 tenths, and the only positive news is that they seem beatable in qualifying. The first race of the season underlined just how good Verstappen has been, with Toto Wolff calling his drive in a different galaxy. Verstappen's average lap time was a 1:35.4, which put him a comfortable 0.3 faster than his teammate per lap. Despite this being a new year, this was Verstappen's 8th consecutive victory, dating back to last year's Japanese Grand Prix. Only 2 drivers in F1 history have won 8 or more consecutive races, and those are Sebastian Vettel with 9 consecutive, and Max Verstappen, who set the record last year with 10. And for the Red Bull team, it was a perfect result considering the off-track turmoil that has surrounded the team for the past month. This latest win ties them with Williams for 4th most wins in F1 history at 114. It was an ominous start to the year with Verstappen and the RB20 working in perfect harmony. It is only race 1, and with different tracks upcoming, let's see how the performance goes. But with upgrades in the pipeline and a driver operating at his supreme best, the chase is definitely on to catch Max Verstappen in 2024. So what did you think of the first race of the season, and do you see anybody beating Verstappen to the championship this year? Comment your thoughts down below, and thanks for watching.